Good morning. Good morning. Okay. So here we go. I'm still making adjustments. I'm not happy with things. Yeah, good morning. Welcome to Hey Tom. Good morning. Welcome to Mid Morning Medium Chat with Adam the Black Swamp Medium. Thanks for being here. Oh boy. Yep. Such a late thing, but it's okay. Yeah, I'm all disorganized today. Well, I should say it's been all over the place this week in general. So I mean, it's weird. Um, we're gonna dive into some of that here in a little bit, but so hopefully everybody's doing well. Hopefully your weeks have been good. Hey, good morning, Nicole. Hey, Jill. Good morning. Thanks for joining. Um, hopefully everybody, like I said, is doing well. Um, keep me, I was just kind of curious how things are going. How has everybody's week been? That's really um the thing I want to get to. Hey, Rachel. Good morning. Um, And by the way, Rachel, for, for just a second, I don't know if you got to run, but hey, Dana, good morning. Interesting enough, Rach, uh, we had a conversation a couple days ago. Hey, good morning, Sharon. And it was interesting because I think you'll remember it as soon as I mention it. But I was last night, I'm going to fast forward and then we're going to be back up. Anyway, last night I was up a little bit late, and I'll get into that in a moment. Um, got to bed, decided to wake up with my son today, just in case I'm out really late tonight. Again, get into that. Hey, Jeff, good morning. And I actually when I went to sleep. Uh, I was dreaming, and I was thinking about this because I haven't had any real dreams. Like, when you have a dream, obviously sometimes you remember them, sometimes you dreamt but you don't remember the dream. That just happens to be the case. Like, I was in the middle of a dream, but I was woken up so suddenly before right around 6:20, and because my son woke up, and then I like everything like disappeared instantly. So like everything I was dreaming about was gone. I can't remember a single like second of it. I mean, I know there was people involved, and nothing bad, nothing, but it was just funny. Hey, Rhonda, good morning. But it was crazy that I just haven't had dreams that, at least in that aspect where you're like, oh yeah, I was thinking about that. But I'm like, okay. So I thought it was funny because Rachel and I were talking about dreams this week and in private. And so I thought it was hilarious that here it was. I finally had, a pretty good dream, even it wasn't as crystal, vibrant and vivid, but it just kind of caught me off guard that like, oh my gosh, I'm actually dreaming. So I'm like, I actually was sleeping like a good deep sleep, and for a while for it to have gone on for a bit. But yeah, I was kind of upset when I had to wake up, and I'm like, oh no. And then I was trying so much to remember what was going on in it, and I couldn't. So it is what it is. I mean, it happens. But yeah, no, I mean, interesting week. Okay, Rachel. Yeah, I've been having some vivid, the crazy dreams. You have, yeah, yeah. Like I said, we've talked about it. Dove into some of those, and we kind of even hit on some serious, things that were going on. So, um, but yeah. So I mean, week's been all over the place. I mean, I started off with, let's see, Dana. Dreams, I haven't had them for several weeks since I started breaking electronics. Yeah, see, that's right. It's a weird pattern thing. And like I said, I never go against, what the science is when it comes to dreams. And, I've had, brought this up on shows before where we talked about dreams and things. And, there's some aspects that I okay, science, doctors and all that fun stuff. And then there's stuff that I just don't feel that's accurate enough. I mean, um, they always say that we dream every night, regardless. And it's like, how do you know that? I mean, just because you're seeing your eyes moving and your brain activity, but how do you know that's not for some other reason? I mean, so that's just me. So I know that sometimes that, I always feel better that if you know you had a dream, and even if you don't recollect any of it, it's the point of just knowing that you did. And so that's for me, and that matters to me in the sense that I know that when I do dream, I know I'm getting some decent sleep. And you guys have known, you know, my sleep's all over the place because of all various different things that happen. It's not just one thing that I'm, dealing with, with the temperatures outside the house and things, it's miserable with a two-story house, all the heat's upstairs, so I dealt with temperature issues, and then I just have random thoughts. Hey, Chris, good morning. And so I mean, it varies. And obviously in the past and things, I've anxiety and things over stuff that's overwhelming and stuff. So it's the way it is. And so it's crazy that I just never know what each night is going to bring, whether it's going to be a good one or not. So I thought that was funny, Rachel. I wanted to bring that up because I was like, Rachel might get a kick out of it. But yeah, I mean, so I get the week was a little broken up. I would say, hey, Laura, good morning. I got to stay home on Monday to work, and then I'm going to be doing that again this Monday. So I'll be home again. I said week's been kind of up and down. I've been kind of, you know, things have been great, for the most part. And then, I posted about it. So, I mean, some of you haven't, you might not have seen it because I know, the algorithms and things like that. But Thursday after work was kind of, traumatic in the sense that it was just like, it's a major inconvenience, but just to kind of hash that and said, hey, Kate, good morning. I, got out to my car and, I get in my car, I start the car up, and just as I'm getting ready to put it in drive, because I back into this spot that I usually like to get into, which is an end spot, because then I can just pull right out and just and get right on the road. And I'm I see some papers flapping under the wipers, and I'm like, uh-oh, thinking something's not good, because you've seen those reports, on the news, and got to be careful thinking that, maybe somebody's gonna, jump you or rob you, that kind of thing. So I quickly grabbed, there was two of them, and I'm like, that's even weirder. So I grabbed two sheets and I jump back in the car and close the door. And then I'm, like, what's going on? I flip them open and realize that, something happened. Hey, Chad, good morning. And the bigger note, was from a woman that, hit my car, in my parked car. And I was just like, what? So I tried to finish reading it. And then I jump out, because, she says where she hit it. And I jump out and, there's scratches. The fog light, was messed up. Hey, Margaret, good morning. Um, and, so the fog light was, pushed back in and stuff. So, I mean, a little bit of a separation for, some of the joints of the bumper and stuff. So, I mean, not the worst, and obviously driving it, there wasn't any extra sounds and things like that. So, I mean, that obviously was, critical too, is like, hopefully I can make it home because, it's an hour and 10 minutes. And, so, at that point, it's like, you just, anxiety takes over and stuff. No, Margaret, I'm getting the show ready. Um, the, uh, get, the whole, yeah, I mean, anybody that's ever been through stuff like this before, whether it's little like this or something major, I mean, it's just, it's a hassle regardless, no matter what. And, um, you know, so obviously all I wanted to do was just get home, contact my insurance, get all that started, gave them, the information, and, got that all going, and that's the thing is I, you know, I mean, like I said, it's natural to just kind of be like, it bothers, you and me, whatever stuff. And oh, thanks, Gary. But I, so it, like I said, it's a hassle, and I, just to go through the motions and have to deal with this, and then I gotta, gonna have to get my car has to get, fixed anyway at that point because that I don't want all that, when rain, whatever, going inside the bumper and stuff like that where the fog light should be. I don't, I just definitely don't want that. So then, like I said, it's just the inconvenience of things. So that was just killing me all the way home. And luckily, at one point, about halfway home, like I said, you always got to look for the messages, and I was doing my best to just take it easy. And even then I was super tired that day too. So I'm like, well, this is going to keep me awake. So, but I had a red tail fly right over my car, which I thought was fantastic. Definitely, helped calm me down because I did. It was like instantly, the anxiety dropped off like dramatically. So, I mean, it was a good moment and gave me a chance to kind of forget about a few things and just kind of get back to focusing on just normal life and paying attention to the road and stuff. Not that I wasn't, but Yeah, so it was that was a cool thing. And then obviously as soon as I got home, I knew, okay, well, now I'm gonna have to make the phone calls and go from there. And um, like I said, once I got all that done and then, ate dinner, fast forward to a couple hours after being home, I decided to go ahead and text the lady that hit me, and just kind of touch base a little bit and just be nice about it, because I wasn't gonna there's no reason to yell and scream about things. I mean, obviously, it could have been horrible. I could have not been able to drive home, and yeah, that might have bothered me even more. But like I said, just the little stuff that has to get taken care of is just, that sucks. But so I, texted her, and we kind of had some good texts going back and forth, and she was still apologetic and things, and I did thank her for stepping up and being upstanding for it, uh, you know, say you made the mistake, say what you did and go through the, get everything done, telling me she's going to take care of things and stuff. So, I and then even then I felt bad for her because she was visiting because she's going to be moving to Michigan and so she was in a rental. So she was doing good up until that point, and so now, dealing with that, I'm sure she's, in the same boat. It was just like, that stinks, but ironically, just knowing some of the places and things, and like I said, we had a few messages back and forth, and it worked out, and so it was cool. Like I said, I didn't want to, give off any bad, negative, angry, energies towards her for any reason. Cause like I said, she did, amazing job of just saying something. Because how many times, I think some people know somebody or you've been through it where, you come out from like grocery shopping or, department type of store and, somebody scratched your car or banged into your car and took off and you got nothing, and then you got to deal with, whatever, and you hear about that, or, like I said, you've been through it or know somebody that has. And, um, so I mean, it's the thing is, I like I said, I could have been horrible, and really after I sent those messages with her, I haven't had any, I haven't had any more anxiety over it. I've just been very, you know, just going through life again. It just goes to show you that you have to. And I've been telling a lot of people this week too, which has been it really interesting that I got to make sure I heed my own advice, but you got to find the positive in every situation, no matter how rough it is for you. I mean, uh, it's so easy to fall in that trap, and I'm guilty of that big time. I mean, I know what I need to do. I know, I know it. But sometimes you get tunnel vision and you lose track of it. And even like I said, I was fighting through, this whole accident thing, and I wasn't going to let it just consume me. Yes, I know I still got to deal with things, but things are moving quickly. I already got the estimate, done. So now I just got to it's back on me where I have to, figure out where I'm going to go locally to, get the repairs done. So that's the kind of the cool thing about it is that things are moving great, everything's smooth. I can't, my insurance has been great. They've been helping me out, and so because it's not normal for me to go through that kind of thing. This is the second time I've ever had to like talk to my insurance about an accident thing, and so it's like, eh. But I'm glad they've been helpful, and so but that's the thing is I've looked for all those positives in all this, and like I said, could have been so much worse, and it could have been like where injuries happened and stuff. I mean, that's the positives that I've gotten from all of this. So I mean, you know it is what it is. um and then yesterday, there's a big reason why you guys didn't hear from me at all yesterday. uh I I want to say I didn't have a good day, but yet at the same time, it's I haven't completely identified how yesterday was for me. But the reason why, because like I said, I try to post daily with you guys, and um, I did not have a really good morning at all. Uh, I knew something was going on, and I knew it didn't stem from the accident stuff. But I woke up, I had a major headache, and I was just having trouble staying awake. I mean, I got some sleep, but I was struggling to like just focus and uh just all my morning ritual stuff. I mean, I showered, I got my work clothes on, um, I usually clean up my emails and things like that. And then when I was getting ready to, load up the car and go, everything was just kind of like out of focus, and, things were just not clear. And then all I wanted to do was pass out, in the sense of I was, sleepy. And I'm like, this is some really intense feelings for me. I mean, like, and I'm trying to analyze it, but I'm like, why is this happening? And I, I wasn't sure what to do, and then I'm like, is this a major risk with me driving it? Like, if I'm this tired and I'm like, I literally could just close my eyes and fall asleep instantly, is this even worth the chance of getting in the car? Because an hour and 10 minutes is no joke, and it gets, being dark, and there's not a lot of, you're going through some cities and stuff along the way, and so there's not a lot of bright lights, so there's some darkness, and so, and I sat there for probably a good 15, 20 minutes, and finally it was after 4:30, which was way past when I would normally be leaving. I realized I couldn't risk myself. And so, um, I made the decision to stay home, and I think, overall it was the best one for me. So I wasn't like sick, no stomach issues and things like that, but it just was way off. I was way off yesterday, and I don't know if anybody else experienced anything yesterday, because I had somebody following that was, wanting to ask about, like, did anybody have any issues, after the full moon earlier in the week? Did anybody experience anything? Anybody have some struggles? So I mean, I'm throwing it out there. So if anybody has any comments, please let me know down there. Um, but obviously, I mean, I didn't really have much going on until yesterday. So I don't know if there was something else. So I don't know if I have any of my astrology friends in the chat right now that know anything. But I saw a post, but I couldn't remember if it was yesterday or today. But I saw it today. I didn't see, how long ago it was posted, but somebody was saying something with that Mars was in retrograde or something, which I've never heard, but who knows? Should have told me. I would have sent you some of that crazy, right, Dana? um, but yeah, like I said, I'm just kind of curious, if anybody else had anything. But yeah, let's see, Kate. I ended up working from home yesterday because I felt so. Wow, see, look, you and me. Well, I didn't get to work from home. I just literally called off because I couldn't focus on a computer screen. I didn't even look at my phone. That was, for a while. Chad went from feeling perfectly fine, being sick as a dog, and working dead on my feet since. Oh man. Well, hopefully you get a rest this weekend, and and it'll be all right. Um, yeah. So, yeah, and who knows? Like I said, I always miss up on. I mean, and you see a lot of people talking about some of the astrological things, and there's daily horoscopes and stuff, and so there has been some things cooking. I guess that's a better way to put it. There's things cooking in the background, but yeah, I mean, let's see, Dana, I've noticed I feel more energy and calmness than you. Oh, that's cool. Good. Yeah, I mean, that's what I love about, everybody can, if you're comfortable with sharing, it's neat to see what everybody's going through, because it's not always the same. I mean, sometimes you get some similar symptoms and things, but our experiences, but it's fascinating to see where, sometimes it works out. Like I said, I was doing mostly okay all week, and then all of a sudden, just at the end, I'm like, what is going on? And it was unusual. It wasn't like it was really just one thing, but I'm sure for me, it just because I was just tired. Like I said, I was tired Thursday, and I think it just got to a point where the body was shutting down, and and that happens, like I said, we all got to take care of ourselves first over anything. Because if you don't take care of yourself, you're not going to get anywhere. So I think I was smart enough to listen, and do the right thing. And kind of bums me out because I had to, I've already put in for all my vacation time. So now I got to go and then remove one from, there's one day in November that I'm going to pull out because I just used it, for this. So now I got to remove it. So it's kind of like, oh man, but that's okay. That funny part is that actual week is the where Halloween is on Monday. And then I'm off Halloween and November 1st. And then I was going to take that Friday off. So I was only going to work 2 days, but now I'm gonna have to work the last 3, but that's okay. And then the week after that, I'm off a lot too, for forced things. Just all there's, and we're gonna get into that too. Kate, I have really struggled this week, feeling very flighty and lots of anxious electric type of energy. I think I caught up to me yesterday. Yeah, and it, as I said, maybe that's reason why I wasn't having anything. It was just leading up to it, and just how they were for me. It'd be a little different for everybody. I think that makes sense. Yeah. So I mean, and I'll look around. I mean, I have a little bit of time today because I'm gonna talk about what's going on tonight, but I'll look into some things and see if I can find anything. And if I do, I'll post it on my page. If I find anything unique about, like, maybe what's like today or yesterday, I'll throw it over and share it onto my page so you guys can see it. Or if you've seen something, you've seen somebody post it on, like a spiritual page or something. Yeah, send it to me so that, I can share it with everybody too. But yeah, it is what it is, and so it's cool. And the thing is like, I knew I was I was gonna snap out of it at some point, and if ironically, last night, all right, got it, Dana. I know, like I said, I'm on it as soon as I can find something. Um, Last night, and Dana, you might like this. Hey, Bonnie, good morning. Yeah, Dana, you might like this. This is gonna be fun. Well, only one part of it's gonna be fun, but well, it's all fun. Never mind, I shouldn't say that, but you'll get a kick out of this. Anyway, so last night, I was scheduled to, do um be a chaperone for the marching band, for my kids' school, high school, and it was an away game. And so I was trying to do everything. Hey, Jeremy, I was trying to do everything I could to make sure that I was well enough to go. And so, I still wasn't feeling super great in the head, um, but I knew if I got outside, it was going to do some good. And sure enough, it did. I definitely felt a lot better. I mean, it wasn't until once we got to the other high school, and I'm going to say what the high school is, so anybody that's in the Toledo area will know. Um, but yeah, I uh, finally started feeling a little bit better, and then helping out, and then it got more interesting. But you know, we so the team we were playing against is Springfield, and so it wasn't that long of a drive for us to get there. And we get there, and nobody's getting off the buses, and so I kind of jump off our bus, and I'm kind of looking around, find out, like, trying to see what's happening. So I stayed close to my bus, and I'm just watching down the line because we were pretty much the last bus, and still not seeing anything. I don't know if they're just waiting until a certain point, on the countdown clock, before they get out. I don't know. So I'm sitting there, and finally at one point I hear my name being yelled out from behind me because I was talking to the bus driver and the other chaperone that were on the bus still, and I hear my name called out. So I turn around, and lo and behold, who do I see? I see a good friend of mine, and belong. He's a founder of another team that I love these. I love this team. But I ran into Butch from Togs, and I turned around and I was like, "Oh my gosh, it's Butch!" And so, and he might watch he might be watching it now, or he might watch it back another time. Because he does say he catches my show occasionally, so I had to bring it up. So if he does watch this one, so Butch and I, just had a field day catching up. We were talking about all kinds of various things that have been going on, and he was telling me, he went the same high school system, and he used to work for it, and I was like, that is amazing. So I mean, and so he tries to go to all the home games and stuff. So it was really cool to catch up with them. Of course, we talking a little some a little bit of ghost stuff and things, but we're just normal life stuff, which is important too. It's now, we don't always talk about ghost things all the time, but it was really cool just to catch up with them. And I haven't seen him since August, and but it was just fun. And so it was just neat to see him, and we hung out. And even then we watched, at least I talked to him, once I got the kids in, I was probably almost all the first quarter, and then maybe just touching second quarter. Um, Hey, Kelly. Well, thanks for joining from way over there. um, the uh, but yeah, we hung out for the most part, and then I had to kind of do a little bit of chaperone stuff, and then he moved to a better viewpoint of the game, and And then when we were getting ready for halftime, I shook his hand as we were walking past because we had to go to the other side of the field, the parent, us chaperones and stuff. And so, and he usually takes off after halftime anyway. But yeah, it was so kind of cool to hang out and I was like, wow, you never know where you're gonna, who you're gonna run into, at another, location like that. So I mean, it was kind of fun to catch up. So I appreciate so Butch, if you are watching this, I had a great time, catching up with you and can't wait to see you again. So but yeah, and then we kind of fast forward and one of the things one of the things is so I do have to apologize on my behalf. I didn't because the week has been kind of weird and up and down and I haven't been as focused as I would have liked. Uh you know and that's the reason why the show didn't really get a show reminder, because until this morning when I finally posted it, so it was super late. I just didn't I could not focus on anything. Like as far as, like I said, every week I've been trying to do a Halloween type of topic theme and for some reason it just didn't want to, it just didn't want to happen for me. And I didn't want to cancel a show just because I didn't have a topic for you all. But, I figured, at any point, what the show is always about too is just us hanging out. I throw the topics in there because sometimes not everybody's got questions. It's early. I get that. Coffee, tea hasn't kicked in yet. And so in a way, I'm probably just going to be asking if there's anybody that has questions, just to kind of get through it. I mean, even if it is Halloween related, like I said, that my goal is, the weekend, technically the last weekend of October, I'm going to do the major show of, talking about what is Halloween and stuff. So I'm saving all that, stuff is the highlight of that weekend. But other than that, for some reason, I just thought, it was no problem because originally when we were guys getting into October, I had kind of all these ideas and this week I just couldn't get it together. So, but again, there was no reason for me not to do a show today. And I knew I had plenty of other fun stuff to talk to, and I still got, a little bit more to share. But again, if any of you have any, questions of any sort, whether it's paranormal, whether it's Halloween, whether it's holistic, um, well, I can answer that one. Jeff is asking, have you guys been to the mill lately? No, but guess what? I will be there next Friday night for a private. Um, yeah, we have not. I think because of the basement's still off limits, it's really kind of, you know, done a lot of damage because most people that know about the old mill know about the basement, and it's one of the key spots, and to not be able to go in there, and the yeah, you can't even really sneak in there either because there's a camera out in front of the door. So yeah, we just can't even sneak in there anymore. So it is what it is. It is what it is. And so we are, we're still going to do the best we can. We're still moving forward. We still have our Parafest, in November, and we're just gonna keep rolling with it, and do the best we can. So I am kind of glad that since the basement is off limits, we're not doing a ghost hunt for our Parafest for the second year in a row, and just doing a VIP party. But like I said, we got a great lineup. I mean, I'm speaking, so I mean, everybody should be showing up just for that reason. And so um I see questions rolling in, so I will ask that. I will get to those. I will definitely back up and answer all those questions. I we're gonna have some fun. There's some cool surprises that we've been brewing, and those that can make it, you're gonna have a good time. Those that miss it, which you got other things going on or money's tight, I get all that. Uh, More than likely, some of the surprises will probably make it out on social media somewhere. I will, without a doubt, know that there will be some stuff posted. So if you do miss this Old Mill Parafest in November, just know that you'll probably see a few things that'll pop up at some point. Whether it's that day or the next day, I guarantee it, you will see. So, and what I'll do before I start answering all those questions, just to highlight it, just in case anybody's interested. I don't know if it's sold out or not, but tonight at the Indigo Mystics in Bowling Green, uh, Carmen, you guys have heard me talk about Carmen in the past, and I are doing tandem gallery readings for everybody that's there. Seats are limited, but if you need any information, we've got event pages posted. I've got one of mine from earlier this week. I think it's still there. Well, it is there. It's just you might have to scroll through if you need to get some more information, and how to contact or maybe get a seat if there's still some available. I don't know. I haven't heard. Maybe Dana knows. She can hit me up real quick. But okay, she's saying I still think there's a few spots. Cool. But if you're in town, you can look it up. Like I said, you can go to my page. Boo Productions has got it reposted as well. So I mean, most of us got them out there somewhere. But if you're interested, local, come hang out. Like I said, the seats are limited, but at the same time, you're going to get two mediums, rocking out a gallery reading, and we're starting at about 7, and so hour and a half. We'll see how it rolls out, and I'm sure there'll be some hanging out and talking afterwards a little bit. But yeah, we'd love to see you. So hopefully it come out, and definitely thanks to Dana for helping put that together with Indigo, and so yeah, it's gonna be fun. So yep, in Bowling Green. So looking forward to that. So that's my evening tonight. So I'm excited. So I love that stuff anyway. I mean, it's just so fun. You never know what's going to happen, which is the best part. And that's what that's more enjoyment out of me, is not knowing what's going to happen. And then, when things pop up, and then, you make those connections, or share those messages with people, that it's just the best feeling in the world. So, let's see, Jeff, you had one. Let me throw it up. What are your thoughts on Psychic's role in residential investigations? I think each team has got their own perspective on it. Some teams love their mediums that have them, or use them even if they don't have them on their team, or they bring some in. I do find value in it, and I'm not just saying it because of being a medium. I see the values that you got to remember. Any true paranormal investigator, not all the equipment does what you want it to do. EMF doesn't go off, when you ask questions, you're hoping that they're going to respond by touching the EMF, meter. Recorders, EVP, work doesn't always happen, and you can go in through all the other devices, that are out there that, are hopefully helping. Obviously, there's pros and cons to all the equipment, but, you're just looking to see if something that after you do some baseline sweeps, and it can stand out. But to me, that mediumship, kind of does that. It kind of helps with looking into things that maybe they don't want to communicate via some type of electronical device, but yet they would rather have a conversation with the person. Because even then, let's go back into history. When did electronics really start popping up? Are they afraid of that stuff? Do they see these weird boxes and things with lights, and they go running away because they're not used to it? They might be used to, campfires and candles. So, is there a theory behind that? Sure, I would think so, because, you just, you don't know what they're used to, so I think it does help. Now, of course, and Jeff, obviously you got to, really do your due diligence. You got to know about, the psychic mediums that you're working with, and obviously, uh, check them out, hang out with them, work with them on some other, little things. And so that way you feel comfortable. Because obviously, if your team doesn't have one, let's say, just to reach out to somebody, locally, and when you don't have any info on them, you don't know what you're getting. Nothing against that. They might not be legit or not. I'm just saying is that sometimes you really want to make sure, because on a residential, that's as serious as it gets. This isn't like going to, a haunted location. You pay X amount of dollars, so that way it helps the location keep its doors open, and then you're running around all night. Residentials that's like, it's game on at that point. So the seriousness on a private, residential investigation is huge. So, trust is big, like I said, Jeff, you've made it well known, in your shows, and in, you have a few people that you are very fond of. And so, that's what helps, and like I said, doesn't put anybody else that's out there, I'm not shooting anybody down. Like I said, it's important. And I think, it does help, because if you can't get the equipment working, you can rely on them to bring out stuff, even if it's not a ton of information. But if you're not getting anything with any equipment, then at least you got a little something from them. So I kind of classify, psychic mediums as like another tool in the bag to have. Um, I was helping out on a small investigation this week. I wasn't doing mediumship. I really wasn't. I was kind of just doing the gear stuff. So I felt original again. I got the equipment back out. I was running around. I was helping out, just trying to get a baseline sweep of the EMF levels. I loved it. It was, I haven't done that in so long of just being a normal investigator. It was always so used to just being the medium. And so this time I was kind of taking a back seat, which was great. And that's important. Like I said, I love the equipment too. Just nice to kind of check things out, see what's happening. And then, if the medium shit needed to kick in, it would have, but I kind of didn't need to at that point. So cool. Thanks, Jeff. Let's see. Um, Chad, is there a way to protect yourself from things that are coming through the thinning of the veil? You know, Chad, it goes to the old saying. And by the way, if you guys, I'm trying to stay where the questions were, so I'm not seeing anything further. So if you guys have made more comments about what I've just said, I will get to it as soon as I scroll. Chad, the, you know, it's always intention. I've said it time and time again. I'm not the only one that says it. Everything's about intention. Believe in yourself. Stay strong to yourself. You don't have to be religious. You can be religious. It doesn't really matter. If you got faith, use that, within your intentions, however you want to word it, if you don't, that's okay too. There's still other things out there. You still have guides, and you can ask them to look over, you. Don't be afraid of it. Don't be timid. I hope they watch me. Don't put any weird intentions like that. No, but hey, I need you guys to help me out. I need you guys to, keep me safe, keep me protected. I don't want any, issues, as we get closer to Halloween, that sort of thing. But that goes in just in general. Every day, I say stuff and, do a kind of a daily prayer, and that stuff's always included, always having them all watch out for me. And it's just a common thing, and it's so quick, and, it's just routine. It just happens. That because I do it daily, it's just like, I'm just keeping the armor on, if you're doing it once in a while, yeah, it's effective. But if you can get into a routine of doing it every day, even if you got to put it in your phone as a reminder, hey, do your prayer, whatever it takes to get you to do it every day, because it doesn't have to be long. It could be a few seconds, could be a minute, could be 2 minutes long, however you want to word it. But just keep it the same, keep it. And so do it every day. And then that armor is on there, and it's gotten you, it's, like a force field, a bubble, however you want to look at it. It's just there. So, just put your intention out there, set some, rules, some ground rules in a way that, nothing's allowed to mess with me, right now. I'll let you know when I'm ready, no, don't do that, but just be like, no, but be serious about it. Let's see. 1 second. I'm going to get to Tom's in a moment. I just was looking real quickly ahead. Okay. I just wanted to read a few. Okay. Chad, I get my guardian angel with them every day of the week, twice on Tuesdays. Anything I do. Okay. Yep. Cool, Chad. Yep. And then what was Jeff saying? I'll say it for you. There's a lot of people who think they're spot on, think that they're spot on, and they aren't, and they don't fraudulently. Yeah, they're just wrong. Yeah, agree, Jeff. I have a very short list of trusted mediums. Yes, you do. The green sweat will only be the psychic unsighted Norwalk investigation tonight. So may God, right? I love it. Oh man. Okay. Dana, no problem. We'll definitely chat tonight. Tom wants to know what my thoughts or ley lines are. I have, I've looked into them a lot. Especially, considering what they're all about. There's these magnetic lines that run underneath us, and you can pull up maps. Anybody can do this. You can do a Google search and just ask for ley lines. A lot of theories behind them. A lot of activity happens on them, especially at crossroads of ley lines. Like, it's interesting that there's a lot of haunted locations, not just here in the States, but around the world. A lot of them, when you get a couple lines crossing, or you get multiple lines crossing, the activity is just through the roof. So I do believe in them. I do think that even just being close to them, definitely can amp up the area, or at least give the potential that stuff can happen more. Uh, you know, it for those that are curious and things, it's not a bad idea to just kind of have an idea. Uh, like I said, do the Google search. There's some that are kind of, the maps are a little rough. So when you try to zoom in kind of in the area where you live or where you work, or maybe you're looking up at your family's, locations and things. So some of them are kind of rough, but there is a few that, you can definitely get a good idea uh, of where they're running. Uh, I have looked, and it's been a little while, but I mean, yeah, I mean, being close to them, I mean, it definitely seems like it because, but then again, I think it's just one of those that help fuel it. Doesn't mean that the areas, could be haunted, because even then, all along the line, I mean, if you were to walk the line perfectly, I guarantee you're not going to find activity like every step of the way. I think, there's multiple factors. I think it's just a fueling source. That's just my opinion. I think there's a way that it just fuels things to happen. So whether there's a traumatic event, a dramatic event, somebody purposely starts something, on a particular spot, which could be because they unknowingly know that there's a ley line there, and so activity happens and then it just stays in that spot. It's all possible, but yeah, I think ley lines are pretty important when it comes to even just the paranormal stuff. But I think it can also affect people just in general. It doesn't have to always be the paranormal. It doesn't have to be ghosts and things running around. Just feeling uncomfortable, having health issues. I mean, just people are sensitive to different things. That's why when we talk about EMF in residential stuff, if you've got bad wiring, it'll make you think you have activity when there truly isn't. And I've our team, we've dealt with that. We literally, the entire house was so bad that any EMF gear, whether it was just ones reading the numbers or ones with lights, it didn't matter. They all were pegged. And anywhere you walk, the only relief you ever got in that house was if you took your meters against the outer walls, and then they would finally clear. But as soon as you moved them in a few inches, it was just off the roof. So they believed there was activity and there wasn't. And so it was a major thing that, electricians had to come in and redo everything because it was terrible. So uh, you got to be careful on those things. So what do we got? All right. Go down a little bit. Jeff, camel smudging for all of them. There you go. Greenman asked me why I didn't consult him before consulting you. Right, Dana. Oh man. Um, yeah, so uh great questions. Thank you for those. Dana, you're gonna have to put a reminder on him, next time he does these things, you're gonna have to, a checklist of, this is what's gonna happen when I'm not around. How many cases have you come across? Okay, Jeff's asking, how many cases have you come across where people have self-manifested in a legit haunting? You know, you definitely run into it. I mean, I probably don't know how many. It's not a big number. Probably a good handful of them. And you can always tell. Uh, you can kind of tell. Well, okay, there's a couple parts to that. You can always. There's some that love the attention, and Jeff will start smiling, and Dana too. Um, that love the attention. That is interesting enough, and you can bring psychic mediums in to clear the house, clean it up, and or in teams are there's plenty of teams that do great cleanses too. So I'm not putting them, I'm not saying they can't either. I'm just using it just because that's what I've done it. So um, you can clean out everything. You can make the house completely spick and span clean, from a spiritual standpoint, removed anything, got it all out of the house, put up borders and walls and things like that. And then it's interesting is that they will it back in. They invite it back in a way. And then they said, well, it didn't work. Oh, no, it did work. You just didn't want to listen. You didn't want to sit there and try to keep it from happening. You enjoy it too much. I mean, there's all kinds of emotions and feelings behind it, but it's sad to see where some people, I mean, we've seen exactly what I'm talking about. I mean, I've heard of these residential homes, and I've heard where they've gone through like 3 or 4 teams. And that is truly blowing my mind. I mean, maybe out of, maybe one of those teams may not have the best advice or they might not have a lot of experience. So you got to at least rule one of those out. But to have a couple other teams, especially if like there's 3 or 4 of them that haven't done and that you more than likely have been around a long time and they're not able to find anything or maybe they do help cleanse the home or just give it a good once over, which is what I like to do too. Just give my home, I give it a once over just to make sure it's doing well. But it's crazy that you get some of these people that just keep calling teams over, and I just I and granted, we don't know. I mean, you do in that case. There's a lot of things that could be happening to the client. You could think of all the natural things. Are they on medications? Are they, you know, is it something natural? Like I said, EMF. Are they dealing with that's making them hallucinate things? So there's a list of things you got to get through to find out what's truly happening. And even then, if it is activity, why are they really wanting this? Is it just because they want the attention? Are they just, you know, has the spirits really taken them over? Are they in that attachment phase? Hey, Debbie, good to see you from Ireland. Thank you for joining. So hopefully you're having a great time. I've been watching your photos whenever you post them. Jeff, clients, we think, let's see, let me throw it out there. Clients think we come in, have a magical wand, and they're good. They don't realize they will have to make like, Jeff, that is the thing that any good team, and I will put that out there, any good team knows that you have to do, it's almost, okay, I'm going to say it like this. 98% of the time, and I'm going to use that number. I don't know why I chose it. You can get rid of, like, let's say there's something legit in the house. You can kick it out. No problem. That most teams that have been around long enough can do that. You can kick that out. It's the clients that you have to spend the majority of the time with, educating them, telling them how to how to start their life over again in the sense that their house is now theirs. That all this other stuff they've been dealing with, they have to now, that's in the past now. We've dealt with it. And so now you're pushing it away and now you need to take a stand for yourself. Now you're back in control. Now you've got the help, which is what the teams are doing anyway. Help validate the information, help educate you moving forward. So that way you can do what you need to do and take your house back. That's the whole point. Dana, worse is when you give them a list to do and help them and they don't, but they get mad when you don't further. That's the thing, is then you have to be the bad guy in a way of putting your foot down, because for me, if I do any type of spiritual removal, and I'm just using spirit, if I do any removal and I will come back one more time, I will do one more, but if they continue and I can tell that they're bringing stuff back, even if it's the same entities. If they're bringing it back, I always tell them, I said, I will come back twice. After that, I'm done. And I do have to be pretty stern about it, and I've had to, not return to things because they keep wanting it to happen. And I can't deal with that. It's a waste of my time. And that's where, all us teams, we don't ask for money. But if you want me to keep coming back, well, you know what? Now you're really taking up my time. So really, if I was to come back a third or more times, well, technically I should be compensated for it because you continually to make it happen. I'm doing you a favor. I'm helping you out and you're not going to listen to my advice. It's not really good, So that is where I've I'm going to start charging you for it, but it never gets to that point because they understand. And like I said, I'm not mean about, how I educate the clients after we go through the removal and stuff and how I have to, and I check in on them, making sure they're okay. But it is what it is. It's unfortunate. It's just, it's how people are, how society is. So let's see, Jeff. I almost got involved in a war in case there's a person posting in every paranormal group she can. She has so many teams and in the trash. I see that's where that's tough. I hate that. Debbie, loving it here. Wouldn't miss your show. Oh, I appreciate that, Debbie. I mean, you 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 can always play this back when you get home. So I mean, you have more fun. We spend more time educating, counseling, investigating lately. That's true, Jeff. Absolutely. Yeah, it is. You spend more time talking to the clients or looking, at history or looking at the property. Absolutely. Dana, things we ask them are usually very simple. Right. It is. Absolutely. Jeff, I've definitely pissed people off lately. If I ask you for a journal, everything, do it. Don't write something up in 10 minutes and ask to see it. I've been grumpy. I get that. Yeah. Yeah. I'm just going to write this down. No, no, the point of journaling is a daily thing. Chris, I'm in the same only one time follow up, but if the client doesn't adhere to my instructions, I can't help. Yeah. Yeah. Because you got to remember that's you, if they're not going to pay attention, you can't get that involved in it. Like you're there to help. That's always the main goal. But if they're not willing to help themselves by what advice you're giving them, what was the point of even contacting you in the first place or us, whoever, whatever the situation is. But you know, and there was a few times early in my, uh, of doing this things that, I was really trying hard, to, you know, do the best I could, make sure this doesn't happen. And then I realized, it started eating at me, when I've had to make more than 2 returns. And I realized that there was something wrong in that. And so now I put my foot down and it's like, yeah, but that's also protecting me, and us, because you can't, you ruin yourself. And then if I go down for a day or two, I mean, what good is that? I've ruined my chances to work on something else or, help out with family things and things, so I mean, it's just one of those things. You have to know when you set your limit, boom, and that's it. Whether they bash you or not, that's their problem. They want to bash you, you got to remember you have all the information, whether it was typed out, whether it was, over phone call, you got it all, and it, what happened, so I mean, if you really had to defend yourself, which you don't need to, you've got it all there to show the world, well, they could bash me all they want, but look with what they didn't do. And then, so it's just how those things are, and uh let's see, Jeff, I'm benevolent. If I see legitimate effort from a client, I'll stick around. Yeah, yeah. No, that's great, Jeff. Like teaching a pig to sing, all it does is waste your time and annoy the pig. Right. Yeah, yeah. And like I said, the bottom line is we all want to help. I mean, that's why we do this. I mean, yes, we do love, like in this case, paranormal stuff. We love that stuff. We're so fascinated with it. We want to know more. It's the research aspect to it. And I've been able to, get some things that I don't think it's ever been known, and just little things that just kind of help with a bigger picture. And so that's for me, it's just a constant researching element. So uh, that's, it's just so, and I guess that's the thing is that when you're doing all this research and then you have some ideas of stuff, obviously we don't know it all, but then, to be in a situation where you can help somebody, get them back to, a normal way of life, that's huge because again, you have some understanding. Obviously we don't know everything and we probably won't ever know everything, but I think we'll have enough to where enough experiences, enough time in working with, various situations do help. So yeah, it's just one of those things that you just still got to, do your thing, provide the right information as best to your knowledge, um, give the best advice, and then obviously if they kind of not do it or adhere to it, I think it was Chris said that. Yeah, you have to walk away. I mean, like I said, you can't work with somebody that's not willing to help themselves. I mean, like I said, I tell clients usually I can take the spirits away every day. I can do it. Seriously. And that's not even an ego thing. That's just okay. I can do that. But if you don't do something on yourself, because you're the one living there, if you're not willing to put your foot down and take a stand for it, once I, in this situation, take it away, what, it's just going to keep happening. So it's a waste of time. So don't waste anybody's time, deal with it. And most of the time you get people, it's pretty rare, but you do get a few that just like won't, and they keep bringing it back. But you get a lot of them that they get it and they really are like, you know what? I don't want this again. This has really, hurt me, in a lot of ways. Um, Christine, Love it when people ask for them and then ghost you and then come back months later asking again. It's like, yeah, it is. Yeah, I have had that a few times too, Chris. That's that's a weird one too. It's like, I've had it where I was okay, let's get this going. Okay, let's figure out a time and then nothing. And I'm like, do they really have a problem if they're not gonna like follow up? And okay, I'm like, okay, um, wish you had more time. You'd be a good addition to the foundation. I know, Jeff. Like I said, uh, I don't want to waste anybody's time, and that's the problem. And I know there's some times where it's got to be needed, and it's almost like I'm seasonal, and I know that doesn't work either. Um, I mean, and even then, I wish there was a way to just be kind of you know a a helper, or a little add-on, but I get all the other stuff behind the scenes. We've talked about it, and so I get that, and you know, it's tough, and I mean, I've thought about it in great length. You don't realize how much I've thought about it, and then, like I said, just looking at the schedules, like recently, it's like, you know, I mean, this week was when trying to get the investigation I helped with, that was a little tricky. And like I had an opportunity, which was a Wednesday night, but just had to do it a little early so I could get home at a decent time. So that in itself is just crazy because it's like and at least it was local, so I didn't have very far to go to get to the home. So that helps. But some of them that you have to run a pretty far thing. All right, Debbie, have a good one. Enjoy it. Have a good time today. Um, yeah, Sharon, you have a good day too. Yeah, I would, like I said, I would feel really horrible to have to continually say, no, I can't do that, or I can't make that. And it's just not, it wouldn't look good on me. And then that's just, what does that say about me? But then again, being as busy, and just not having a ton of time, that's rough. So, I mean, I don't, you never know, Jeff, you never know. Things can always change, situations could get a little bit different, and can't say never. It just obviously right at the moment, it definitely wasn't going to work out this fall. So, and like right now, all the rest of October and pretty much all of November are done. Like I got nothing, like little teeny little tiny little windows, but nothing huge. December, I finally get some openings, but we're in the holidays, we're now, dealing with all that. And so there's obviously not a lot. And I've got a lot of vacation stuff coming up. I was looking at my stuff. Well, now it'll change since I taken one away, but now no November, I will only work a total of 10 business days. So it was 9, but now I got to take one of those away. So now I will have worked, I'm only working 10 business days in November, which is pretty amazing. Um, and then I got a week off in December that I'm going to take for myself, do some various things, hopefully a lot of personal things too. But so yeah, so I mean, but like I said, we get into the holidays, there's just all that focusing on there, and there's not a lot of time then too. But I'm taking some time for myself and things. So yeah. Christine, have come across drug use in a client which was causing issues, refused to stop using it in the house. So there's an example of non-compliance. Yeah, yeah, that's another great one. Yeah, whether it's illegal drugs or whether they're on prescription, medications that can alter their state of mind. Uh, Huge flags. Granted, it helps to know what they are taking, so that way you can either do the research on it and see what it does, what kind of symptoms and feelings they're going to go through. Because yeah, I mean, if anything with hallucinating or dizziness and things that could just cause you to be kind of in and out of a conscious state, doesn't help on those things. And so uh yeah, it's unfortunate that sometimes that's the way it is. Yeah, well, yeah, I mean that too. I mean, it's not like that's doesn't move your mind around a little bit, at least make you feel goofy, depending on how you take it. But yeah. Yeah, definitely not the best thing to do, especially if things are going on, you need to kind of make a change, but yeah, wow. But yeah, I'm looking at the clock, gang, and so yeah, we're at that hour mark. So I'm gonna I'm gonna get drug use is a huge problem. I believe it opens people up to hunting, but drug use continues. There's no salute, right? Yeah, there really isn't. like I said, I can't imagine that you would have to be in the middle of it and be like, or, just in the preliminary stuff of just talking, and then they admit to that stuff. And it's like, well, you got to make a change there. And if you don't want to make a change, I mean, you got to remember that just affects the everything that you're going through or what you're possibly bringing in. Yeah, I mean, it's unfortunate, but but yeah, I'm gonna get out of here. I'm gonna get a little bit more rest, get ready for tonight's gallery reading at the Indigo Mystics in Bowling Green. Jeff and Togs are gonna be in Norwalk. I think that's right. I think I said that right. Um, so they're gonna have some fun with that. So we'll definitely miss those guys. And then, but Dana and Carmen and everybody at Indigo will be having fun with all of them, and then anybody that signed up and is to be a part of to get some messages from Carmen and I, that'll be cool. So yeah, gonna be a good night. Looking forward to it. So I the weather looked pretty decent when I woke up. I don't know what it looks like now, but I think the sun was still out when I came down for the show. So hopefully you guys can get outside a little bit. I know the temperatures are cooler, but that's okay. We can handle it. It's autumn. So, but yeah, I appreciate you guys coming in. I appreciate all those questions. You guys are awesome. Kind of helped out. Like I said, I didn't have a lot focused, for today, but it's sometimes you got to roll with it, and that's what I was going to do. And I still wanted to, show you guys I'm still around. Yeah, thanks again. Thank you for hanging out. Look for some posts. I'll try to at least take photos tonight, and then try to post them just to give you guys a little look around the shop and things. And then yeah, I'll try to get back to some of my posts again, and we'll have some fun there and more nature pics, hopefully. Yeah. So thanks again. I appreciate it. So you guys have been hanging out with the whatever the show is. Yeah. But you guys have been watching Adam the Black Swamp Medium. This has been Mid-Morning Medium Chat, and I will see you guys next time. So thank you so much. All my love, light, and peace to each and every single one of you. Have a great day and a great weekend. We'll see you soon. Bye-bye.